Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing wonderful. I know it's been a long time since my last video. Just know that I am working on something good. Now today we're going to talk about how to break evil covenants. This is very important, guys. I'm going to teach you how to break the evil covenants as well as the different type of covenants that you can be involved in, as well as the strategies the enemy used to overtake you, because he does use a strategy. And we're going to bring some light to the spiritual realm and how to go into spiritual warfare. So the first thing we need to know is, and we're going to learn is, knowing your enemy, what type of covenant. And in this video, I did not talk about the entitles, heritage, and rights. I will talk about that in a separate video. This is going to be a two-part video. I wanted to be as detail-oriented as I can, and so I want to explain things biblical way. So we're going to learn everything together. I had to learn this the hard way. Y'all are getting the easy way out. I've had to learn this the hard way, but the first thing we want to talk about is knowing your enemy. So most people believe that the devil has a lot of power and that God has less power, but that is not true. The devil is limited in what he can do, and he has three strategies that he uses. So the first one is network. The second one is influence, and the third one, the last one, is covenant. Now we're going to talk about network because it's so important. So basically, he has a network of information that he uses against you. Let's say you have somebody who has a covenant with a gossip spirit, and this particular person gossips about everything, and then you wind up telling your business. Well, it's not just that one person you told, that demon, you told everybody. So he uses this as a way to predict your movement. He also changes, he monitors the changes, he monitors the seasons, he monitors the shift in the spirit realm. So if something is coming your way, or a blessing is coming your way, he monitors that, and he uses that information against you to come up with a way to attack you. Of course, he is very limited on what he can do. The Lord is not going to just let him have his way. He's very limited on what he can do. This is why he uses the network against you. If you tell your business to one person, you didn't told it to 10. So this is how the network works. Now we know this, that he monitors the season and the change by Job, the book of Job. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" So Satan answered the Lord and said, "I'm going to and fro on the earth and walking back and forth." So we know that he is watching certain servants of the Lord. He's monitoring certain servants of the Lord. So this is how he used his network against you. Another thing he uses is influence. This is also very important. He gathers all the information, and then he has various people that you may have exchanged a conversation with, or that you have talked to before, and he uses this to influence you. He also uses bloodline covenants that your bloodline may have had in the past to influence you as well, and put bad people near you or toxic people near you. You ever had somebody who was in your life at one point in time when you were going on a straight and narrow path, and all of a sudden you get in contact with this person who is bad for you, truly bad for you, and then once you go down the wrong path, they just up and disappear. And so those are the type of people that the enemy will put near you. I've heard stories of a person who has never done drugs in their life and don't have history of doing drugs, but when they get connected with a certain person, now they're strung out on drugs, and then that person that they get connected to wind up finding God, and they change their life, but this person is still strung out on drugs. So the enemy will put bad people around you so that you will fall into a sinful pit. Romans 1:9 clearly tells us to stay away from these type of people. They are worshipers of sinners, and they do not represent God. Now, sometimes you may not know, or you may not have the insight about these particular people. That's why you have to be careful as Christians. But the enemy will use his influence over you, whether it's entertainment, whether it's music. This is why Hollywood is one of the most wicked entities that we have ever seen. They worship the devil. They believe in it. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. So this is why you have to be careful what you watch, what you entertain, the type of music you listen to, so that you will not fall into these temptations. Now, God facts. As I said before, the enemy does not have full access to you. What you look like to in this spirit realm is a blur. He only has network and influence. He can only predict your movements from how you act or the type of sin that you have on you. This is why the enemy does not have access to us in our daily life. He doesn't know everything that happens, but the Lord knows every single thing that happens to us. He knows it in detail because he walks with us every single day. So when I'm telling you about this stuff, I don't want to make it seem like the enemy is also powerful. But the Lord does not allow the enemy to do just whatever he wants. We know these type of things, how he talks about Job, how he had different prophets, how he saved them. So the enemy may come and use these tactics against you, but he does not have power over you. This is why the Bible tells us, resist the enemy and he will flee from you. This scripture tells us exactly the type of tactics that he uses, and all we have to do is resist. Once you build up your resistance to him, he is no longer a threat. So this is why we go and read our Bible, we fast, we pray, so that we can build that resistance up against the enemy and he will flee. Now, another thing we're going to talk about is, what is a covenant? So what is a covenant? A covenant is a form of binding agreement or a promise between two or more parties to do or refrain from doing something specific action. Now, I want to tell you, God is a covenant God first. He loves covenants. Marriage is a covenant. He talks about multiplying. That is a covenant. So these type of things he loves. Now, I want to tell you God facts, okay? The enemy does not have full reign. He can only use covenants, and all of the covenants have a time limit. They have a time frame. Okay. When you belong to the Lord, he begins to put his plan in action because he is a covenant God first. So he is a very jealous God. He does not like you having covenant with other gods. He talks about this with Israel, how Israel was a prostitute. He does not like you having covenants with other gods. So when you give your life to God, you're going to be able to start attacking these things in the spirit realm. Sometimes you do not know what you're attacking, and then you get attacked or things like that. But the Lord began to hand out war notices to the enemy about you. This is why we talk once again about the Bible of Job, where he said, look at my servant. He was bragging on Job and how Job honors him. And then once again, the enemy, he was allowed to attack him. But when you have a covenant with the Lord, he does not like you have a covenant with other God. Now, what is a good covenant? So Genesis 9:16 says, whoever the rainbow appear in the clouds, I will see it, and I remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures for every kind on the earth. The Lord is basically telling you that he has set a covenant that whenever he sees the rainbow, he is reminded of the covenant. Okay, this is why you know that he is a covenant God first. Okay, and so here is bad covenants. Okay, here are some examples of bad covenants. Okay, we have Exodus 23 verse 32. So you should make no covenant with no other God. Okay, he's a jealous God. You have to remember that. Then you have 2 Corinthians 6:14 talks about the covenants and things like that. So you can see these are bad covenants that he's warning you not to make, that you should not have. Okay. Now we're going to talk about how covenants start, okay? The enemy uses any trick he can to get legal right over you. He do it to babies. He will do it to children. And most of the form he comes into is dreams. He comes in the form of dreams. Sometimes, depending on the type of covenant, it has to have physical contact. Now, the physical contact comes from witches, okay? You will have some witches that will give out candy, that will give out toys to little girls, boys, whatever. Normally, those items are cursed, and because the item is a curse and it has a certain spirit on it, they're allowed to come through dreams. Now, certain spirits are not allowed to come through dreams, just because of how God has it. So the only way they can come through is physical contact. Now, the first way how you start a covenant is an agreement. Remember, I told you, a promise. Now, demons come to you in a dream. Most likely, they will come to you in a dream, and they will give you a familiar setting to make you feel calm and collective. All demons have a name, and not all demons are the same. They have different requirements. They have different ways to approach you. So, for instance, you're not going to get the same way you approach anger over lust. Okay? What means is you'll have a dream about a lustful situation, or you will have a dream about anger. Those two demons are separate. They have different requirements, and they have different ways they approach you. They also have different names. This is where Mark and Luke, you can see the Lord asks, "What is your name?" He says, "My name is Legion, for we are many." So now we're going to talk about sacrifice. Once you start a covenant with the Spirit, or you come into agreement, whatever way, through dreams or physical contact, you have to sacrifice something in your life. Whether it's peace of mind, joy, whether it's financial stability, whether it's a healthy relationship, you sacrifice something to that demon. And what that demon does, because you started a covenant with it, right? What that demon does, it replaces it with stuff that it's stuff. So let's say if you were supposed to have a healthy relationship, it replaces it with a toxic one. If you were supposed to have healthy children with no birth defects, it replaces it with children who has birth defects. These are the type of covenants that come upon, and the sacrifices that you have to make with dealing with this demon. Now, after you sacrifice, you came to agreement, legal right. Now, this is very important, because the enemy will use this. He will use legal right against you in a way that you would never think. We go into the courts of heaven, and sometimes we ask Lord, "Hey, Father, remove this from me. Remove this problem from me. I'm having problems in my relationship. I'm having this, I'm having that. Remove this." But you keep saying right, remove it, but you have a covenant with the Spirit. Legal right means that when you start a covenant with a spirit, they took the agreement, also made you have a sacrifice. And any rights that you will have, any inheritance that you will have, any rights that is in your name, is now belongs to that demon. To give you an example, let's say you have a covenant with a poverty spirit. Well, any rights that you will have as far as making money will be gone. Okay? And it will be replaced with property. So anything you put in any investments will dry up. Now, I hope you learned something, and please like, share, and subscribe, and I will get back with you with this part 2. Bye, guys.